Right, procurement and contracts. Good. Question 4a. Question 4a. RU's contract challenges might have been linked to poor contract form model, omitting key clauses that might have been better protected, or that might have better protected both entities, client and contractor. The contractor-client relationship, right? You all agree with this, I'm sure. The contractor-client relationship was also questionable, maintaining, as reported, on non-strategic collaboration. And as we know, for these type of contracts, something with astronomical cost, you ought to have a collaborative relationship. You're talking about the building of a railway here. We're talking about the building of a railway here. We cannot do business in an adversarial manner. We stand to lose. Both parties stand to lose. We all would agree with that, right? So the student is required to design a detailed and original contract form, addressing several of the legal problems in the case. The form must also be industry and case specific, right? So you're not creating a generic form here. This form must bring to life elements of the case. All right. The student must also propose a contractor performance management plan, which would include supplier development and supplier motivation initiatives. Typo there. Right. So supplier development and supplier motivation initiatives. So some guidelines here. Design a contract form. See example of catering contracts form here. Now listen to this, guys. You're not required to do a FedEx standard form. It's not necessary, right? Or ICHEMI form or NEC4 type contract form, right? Or contract standard. All right, it can be simple. So I'll give you an example here. So the first thing you do is design a contract form. Abdul Latif, are you watching? All right, so I have a sample here for you guys. So you can tweak it accordingly. All right, so you can have a look at it. Right, caterer agrees to provide services to the client for basic description of events. So basic description of events, you can say what that is. So you can include the necessaries. Client is required to pay a deposit of, okay, you can come up with an arbitrary figure. Client agrees to provide, so this wouldn't be a caterer. Eh? Client agrees to provide caterer. No. So the client is RU. The client agrees to provide, it's not a caterer. Right? So RU will be awarding the contract to I wouldn't say caterer, I would say contractor. Right? That might be more suitable there, right? So you can take elements of this. You can design your own contract form. You can use elements of the contract form that you would have used in your organization. You with me on that? All right. So you don't need to reinvent the wheel. Hey, look who's here. Look who's here. Oh yeah, Folu. Oh yeah, Folu. How are you? So you don't need to use this standard form. You can incorporate some elements of your standard form that you use. Right? But just create one. The first thing you need to do is create a standard form. Right? So you're designing a contract form. That's what you're doing. Time is 8:20. Okay. Then what you do next? Design a performance plan to specific to the contract. See link here, only an example, right? So come up with some performance plan, right? And I'm going to share with you something that I have here. This is just a template. You don't have to use it. All right. Hold a minute. So your performance, I'll just highlight something in a nutshell, right? Your performance plan may focus on quality. Your performance plan may focus on the scope, all right? And if I'm to look at this one, okay. All right, so your performance plan should have an auditing element. So I'm just going to read this. Look at this, for example. Third-party audits or assessments. Third-party audits or assessment refer to the contractor evaluation by a third-party organization, all right, that is independent of the government and the contractor. Now, you don't have to say all of that. Basically, if I'm designing a performance plan, I will have a notation which highlights the which highlights the importance of audits and or assessments, right? So you should have your plan should state that audits will be conducted by an independent body, a consultancy firm, etc. You with me on that? You with me on that? So you're not, your hands are not tied here. You can design your own performance plan. What I'm saying, I just reiterating this, your performance plan should highlight, or you should have the following. You may want to have some kind of auditing program. You need to audit the contractor. This is RRU, by the way. You need to have, you need to manage quality as well, right? So you may have a quality standard in place, maybe ISO standard. They have here contractor matrix. Matrix is a management measurement tool used to measure performance objectives, right? Stated in the standard operating, I'm not sure what that is, standard operating work maybe. The government, in this case, it wouldn't be the government. The government develops and approves performance objectives. In this case, it will be RRU, right? Industry input to the development of these objectives and thresholds is desirable, right? Are you all following? Are you all following? I'm not saying that you need to use all the elements. This is all up to you, Abdul Latif. Right? I'm giving you all flexibility, leeway. Whatever you think is important, include it in some kind of performance management plan. Right? So this is one that I have here. You can use it as you could use this as a guide, right? So in case you're not sure what to do, check this out. All right, hold on. Look at this. In this performance plan, they have a trend analysis, right? The method of surveillance should be used regularly and continually by the quality assurance personnel to monitor the contractor's ongoing performance over time, right? So you're looking at trends. Trends may highlight things like gaps in the processes. It may highlight you may highlight delays as well, right? You may highlight quality issues, glitches, and so on along the way. That is RRU we're speaking about, RRU. Right? So this is a nice document. You can feed from. You can learn a lot from this document. Right? Look at this, random sampling. Random sampling is an appropriate method for frequently recurring tasks. A typical use of this surveillance method is lot size sampling. Right? So quality assurance personnel, again, will evaluate randomly selected samples. So here's what. You could have random sampling. You can hire a QA, right? You're going to state this. Random sampling by RRU. So how does this work? RRU will hire a QA, quality assurance personnel, right? Might be independent. Well, could be someone internally, right? And this person will visit the contractor and do sample checks on a particular activity in the contract or in the project. You with me? That might be the installation of maybe the installation of help me, some aspect of the railway system, right? All right, it might be the installation of the electrical system to power the railway. Simple things like that, right? So random sampling surveillance. Very, very good initiative, right? This is contract management here, by the way. Testing 1 2 3, testing 1 2 3. Are you all agreeing with that? Oyefolu. I hope am I pronouncing your name correctly? Hi, Denusha. This is actually contract management here, right? So this is a nice document you can use as a guide, right? This is to kind of help you along the way, right? The time is now, I have to keep track of the time. It's now 8:26, right? Right, so let me go back to base. Yeah. Now, on the issue of supplier development should be proposed, which will strengthen relations throughout. All right. So some insightful, some insights, on this should be discussed as well. So, as part of question 4a, you should have a discussion, on supplier development. Very important. And what is supplier development? Hey, so supplier development is a strategy or an initiative where both the contractor and the client RU, right, work together. So really, genuinely work together. Oh, it's all about working together, solving problems along the way during the contract, right? Solving problems, yes, not fighting, yeah. Helping each other as well. So, one example, RRU can assist in quality challenges that the contractor may have. They may this might involve RRU's technical expertise on quality, and they can work along with the contractor to help resolve a problem, right? So and might be a problem that relates to quality, or the quality of some equipment, or the quality of a job, or not getting something right. Maybe there's a variation that cannot be resolved. All right, and the contractor is challenged with this variation, a variation in the weight of something, or in the size of something, and you can assist in that regard. So 828. So what is supplier development? If we to look at this document, 828. Make it a bit bigger. All right, taken from CIPS here. So hold on. So I have an exercise for you all too coming up. Once I get through with this with the assignment. So what is it? Oops, a bit too big. So supplier development, as you wrap up, is the process of working with certain suppliers. And when they say certain, they're talking about strategic suppliers. In my view, RRU, if they hire a contractor to execute such a mammoth project, this supplier will be seen as a strategic supplier, right? So when we say certain, we're talking about strategic suppliers in the main, right? Not everyone, right? So it's working closely on a one-on-one basis, right, to improve performance for the benefit of both the buying organization and the supplier, or in our case, the client and the contractor. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. You all got that? Let me see if I did everything there. And in closing, there are some performance incentive schemes in construction. You can have a look at that as well. So once you cover these areas, once you follow my guidelines and cover these areas, you'll be okay. Testing 1 2 3.